Hi, this is Rob Leo. In this video tutorial, we're going to continue to take a look at Nearpod, a great tool for creating interactive presentations. I'm here at nearpod.com. In the previous tutorial, you saw how to click the menu and create your own account. You may also want to explore, by the way, some of the tools they have here. If you look at some of the resources and FAQs and blogs, they have all sorts of great information, as well as a What is Nearpod link. So be sure to explore some of the menu options. But again, I've already created the account. We've also explored some pre-created lessons from other teachers and vendors. Some are free, some are paid for. What I'm going to do next in this tutorial is build a Nearpod lesson from scratch, and with the caveat that I've already created a slideshow in Google Slides. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. In fact, I used the textbook company's PowerPoint, converted it to a Google Slide presentation. What I'll do next is I'll import that presentation in Nearpod and start asking some interactive questions in between the slides I've already created. So let's just get started by signing in. It's going to prompt you to log in with Google. You're going to select your school account. And just to reorient, the Explore tool is where you can find other teachers or other vendors' lessons. You can create one from scratch. My library is where your stuff lives. In the previous tutorial, we looked at the What is Government Nearpod from a teacher who shared it. And notice too, you also have a Getting Started lesson from Nearpod that they put in your account as well. So if you want to create a new one, you could click plus new, or you could simply go up here and click create. And from here, you're able to import stuff. Notice you can drag and drop any files here. You have PNG image files, PowerPoints, and PDFs. If you wanted to upload files, you can simply click upload, and it will search for you. You can search with Google Images and their safe search. You can drop files in, or you can choose from any of these options. Notice the familiar Google Drive option. You can also select a file from your computer. Dropbox and Box, two different file sharing platforms, cloud-based file sharing platforms, as well as Microsoft's OneDrive. I'm going to go to Google. Notice I've got a pop-up that's blocked. We're going to allow that pop-up. And since I need to wait a few seconds, I'm going to click there. And access my Google account. We'll give it permission. And now I can search my drive. So essentially, I've connected my account to Nearpod. I'm going to double click on the slideshow that I want to include. Notice this is already built in Google Slides, but if you have PowerPoints, you can use those as well. And what that should do is it should put all of my slides into Nearpod's platform. As it stands right now, this is an untitled lesson. Notice Nearpod is processing my slides to Nearpodize them, if you will. I'll just give this a new title in the meantime. And after a few moments, you can see all of my slides have now been imported into the Nearpod lesson. I can delete some of them if I want to. I don't need to include this one. If I right-click on it, I can delete it. I can rearrange my slides if I choose to. And I can add some activities in between slides. So this is where the power of Nearpod really becomes evident as you are creating. Let me just save this for now. As you are creating, you can add activities in between your slides. And again, I'm just going to save this for a moment. We'll say this is for 10th grade. We'll say it's for social studies. If I want to come back in a moment or two, I can always come back. I have some assessment questions on hand, so I'll be adding some activities to those. But notice this now becomes part of my library as I've been working. So let's go back and edit this. What I'd like to do is add some slides to this, and I don't need to add content. I've already got the content posted here. I just want to click Add Slide, and I want to add an activity. And these are where my options come in. I can ask an open-ended question. I can ask a poll. I can ask a quiz question. I can ask a draw it question. As I mentioned in the previous tutorial, some of these are for a gold member. When you first start using Nearpod, you are given a free gold account for a limited amount of time, and then it reverts back to the normal silver account. So I'm going to stick to the free tools. And I just want to ask some questions before I get started. So I am going to ask a quiz question. I want to see what the students know before we start. I'm just going to ask, who is the founder of Islam? I'm going to offer some multiple choice questions. You add an answer. If you want to reorder your questions, you can. And if you want to make sure that you have the appropriate key, what you'll have to do for that is simply check the box next to the question. And if you want to add another question, you can certainly do so. Let's say, we ask one more here. Again, let me reorder this because we're not both the same thing. And when I'm all set, I can click Save. This quiz is now part of my Nearpod presentation. It should be the last thing because it's the first activity I included, but I want to reorder this to the very beginning. We're going to put this right after this image slide. I'm going to continue to build my activity by clicking Add Slide, adding an activity, and adding more question types. When I'm done, I'm going to share it back with you so you can see it, but I'm not going to take you through the tedious process of me asking a bunch of assessment questions. But I will go for a variety of question types so you can see how it's done. And when I come back, what we'll do is look at this from a student point of view and how it looks to the teacher as well. So for now, let's just recap. Once again, we logged into our account. We created a lesson. We imported slides from Google Slides, connected our Google account, and then we started to build the activities, the interactiveness of the lesson by clicking Add Slide and adding an activity. As I mentioned, when we come back, we'll see what that looks like. Thanks for listening.